Hello and welcome to the Evidence One. My name is Antonio.
My name is Juan Andres.
My name is Marta.
And we're going to talk about how fossil fuels contribute to climate change and pollution. And first of all, we're going to talk about the historical background. The issue of climate change began in the 19th century when scientists brought to the international attention the threats posed by greenhouse effects. And these natural changes in the bioclimate were first the integration of climate change and the Grauson effects was also an identification in this history period of time, and it was the first insight about this issue.
Okay, for more than 50 years, research and innovations has helped understand, tackle, and mitigate the effect of climate change and impact evidence in decision making and climate policy. From early research proving global temperature rises and using the ice cores that contain 800,000 years of continuous Earth climate records to using supercomputers for climate modeling.
All right, and in 1896, Swedish scientist Arves became the first person to imagine that humanity could actually change climate to a global scale. That's when he decided to publish the calculations to London, showing that adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere could warm the planet. His predictions were that human activities could release carbon dioxide and other greenhouses. The radiation from the sun can hold them in the atmosphere and increase the temperature like the warming greenhouse, hence to the term of greenhouse effect.
After 60 years of Arrhenius findings in 1957, another scientist called Roger Reville published that the ocean will not absorb all the carbon dioxide released in humanity's industrial fuel emissions, and the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere could rise significantly. And 3 years later, in 1960, Charles Keeling published that he detected an annual rise in carbon dioxide levels in the Earth's atmosphere, and it was another issue in this period of time.
In 1968, Dr. John Merced, a glontologist at Ohio State University in Columbia, warned that current atmosphere warming could once more cause the ice shelves to disintegrate, causing a sea level rise at 5 meters.
Also, ONU has a global framework and agreements to guide progress such as Sustainable Development Goals, the UN Framework, Convention of Climate Change, and Paris Agreement. There are also 3 broad categories of actions that are cutting emissions, adapting climate impacts, and financing required adjustments. The problem of climate change has been conceptualized as a significant and urgent global issue that requires immediate action. It has been recognized since late 19th centuries.
In 1988, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was established, and a new era of climate change started, and policymakers make assessment of climate change.
The discovery of the ozone hole in 1985 highlighted the link between human activities and environmental damage.
So who are all these actors involucrated? Ireland, United Kingdom, Costa Rica, Sweden are committed to different and significant actions to address climate change. Ireland focuses on areas such as electricity, agriculture, and transportation.
The United Kingdom and Costa Rica aim to achieve net zero emissions by 2050, and Sweden has been a country, an example of providing electricity generation. Half of its energy are come from clean and renewable sources.
Okay, and we do have 4 means of negotiation. The first one is the United Nations Framework and Convention in Climate Change. The other one is Kyoto Protocol, the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, and the Paris Agreement.
So as per the solutions to address this kind of problem, it's first the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change that established a framework for international cooperation on climate change. Also has facilitated the negotiation and adaptation of subsequent agreements such as the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement.
The Kyoto Protocol achieved some success in reducing emissions amongst participating countries. By the end of the first committee in period 2012, had reduced their emission below 1990 levels.
The Climate and Clean Air Coalition achieved reducing short-lived climate pollutants such as black carbon, methane, and hydrofluorocarbons. This caused the improvement of air quality, protection of public health, and contributing in mitigating climate change impacts, particularly in vulnerable regions.
Also, the Paris Agreement has established a framework for global cooperation on climate action and provide climate financials, technological transfers, and capacity building support for development countries.
The current international issues are focused on fossil fuels and how to prevent using them in order to use renewable energy by 2030. And also another important issue is to limit the global temperature rise to 1.5 Celsius in order to prevent the expansion of climate change. This started in the Industrial Revolution in the 70s, which led to greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. And this issue about limiting the temperature to 1.5 Celsius was first established in the Paris Agreement and later in the COP28.
So this current crisis and disagreement over the international cooperation, how can this issue be addressed today? It's crucial to adopt different innovative and collaborative approaches, for example, the diplomatic dialogue of offering economic initiatives for transforming to this new renewable energy and ensuring political leadership to commit it and implement ambitious climate measures.
Some proposals for the international recognition of international systems could be decision making. Strengthening and revitalizing multilateral institutions. This could involve the reforming of the UN Security Council to make it representative and inclusive. Ensuring that decision-making processes are inclusive and transparent can enhance effectiveness. Reforming global government structure to ensure more equal representation and participation for all of the countries can enhance decision-making. Strengthening the law of government at international level can improve the governance. And protection of global publics, such as environmental health and security, is crucial to address emerging challenges. Can help prioritize actions that benefit the planet, ensuring the availability of resources to future generations.
As part of the solution that we created, we also find that the recent findings in the Climate Change Performance Index, CCPI, in 2024 highlight the urgent need for Mexico to enhance its environmental policy and accelerate its effort to combat climate change. Also, Mexico faces significant challenges in reducing greenhouse gases emissions, promoting to a renewable energy, and have a transition to sustainable transportation system.
The CCPI report underscores Mexico's position as a country with a moderate level of greenhouse gas emissions, low renewable energy utilization, high energy consumption, and inadequate climate policy.
Climate change is a global crisis that requires urgent and coordinated action. To address this challenge, we propose a comprehensive plan focusing on two key areas: phasing out oil and gas in favor of renewable energies and accelerating the expansion of public transportation and passenger trains.
So talking about the solution that we created as a part of ways to achieve these transitions to renewable energy in Mexico, there are two very interesting ways we're gonna talk about. Both are financially aided from the government, so different companies and also the government itself can interview in these projects. So we are talking about the tax incentives and the financial programs.
Okay, we have the fiscal incentives. These are economical benefits that are guaranteed by the government to individuals or to business to promote an activity. In context of transition to renewable energies, this might include tax reduction, tax exemption, or tax credit for companies that are investing in solar power, wind, or hydrological or clean energy resources.
Also, the financial programs will offer low interest loans or a special line of credits for renewable projects, energy projects. And in terms of public transportation and passenger trains in Mexico, it is necessary to implement the use of electric public transportation and to avoid the use of fossil fuels, and also create specific lines so they can only be used for public transportation.
So talking about the first one, that is electric public transportation. So Mexico should prioritize the expansion of electrified public transportation systems, such as buses, trains, and to reduce this dependence on fossil fuels in the transportation system.
Additionally, creating lanes for public transportation can significantly increase the effectiveness and attractiveness to this system by providing a reliable and affordable method of an alternative of driving. Dedicated lanes will encourage more people to use public transportation and reduce the amount of cars, and as a consequence, lower the emissions. We believe that the next proposals are acceptable here in Mexico and achievable for the next reasons.
Okay, so talking about the second idea we have, we think that this approach has been successfully implemented in European countries and can be the key strategy for Mexico to achieve its emission reduction targets and improve the air quality. For example, we have Sweden, Switzerland, Netherlands, Denmark, and Poland.
Okay, and we have also seen countries that have invested in renewable energy and have done it in a great way, such as India, that is the one that has the most and then we have followed by China, Chile, Philippines, and Brazil.
So in general, these proposals will lead to the general aim of COP28, that its mission is to take away fossil fuels as the main source and to use renewable energy to combat climate change. And these proposals will achieve that in terms of this convention that was recently made.